Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott wave analysis, starting on the weekly chart here for the all-time history for Bitcoin and to see where are we heading and where are we in which position right now. As you can see, based on Elliott wave, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4 and a 5 impulse toward the upside where your wave 4 did not interfere with the zone 1. Very nice impulse, finished with the cycles within 12 years here almost, and we have finished a wave 1 or a wave A in this case scenario. And after both case scenarios, you would like to see a correction wave toward the downside where we got an A, B, and a C. Of course, as you can see here, we have finished a wave 2 or a wave B here. And after both case scenarios as well, you would like to see continuation toward the upside. Meaning after this correction, you would like to see an impulse again toward the upside, which is our current bull run, which we just finished, of course, in 80% possibility that we have topped and we're moving toward the downside. Of course, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 finished impulse very nicely, where it can, of course, play as a wave 1 here in your orange scenario and starting a new, of course, impulse toward the upside, meaning you are in a big wave 1, 2, and then you're looking for a wave 3, 4, and a 5 as an impulse, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Or you're looking for a big wave A here finished, you're looking for a wave B, and for a wave C, of course, in the orange scenario here. Now, as you can see, the difference between the wave C and the wave 3 is that almost both can be the same impulse that we're gonna see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. However, of course, this can play as a wave 3 in case you are impulsive. You still need to, of course, have one more 4 and a 5 towards the upside, meaning higher prices, while the wave C was just a stop over there and start, of course, a bear market again toward the downside. Currently, meaning now we are, of course, in a wave 1 that we have finished, and currently we're heading for a wave 2. And this wave 2 in the orange, of course, will trigger a wave 3 toward the upside. This wave 3 is, of course, the wave 3 of the blue wave 3, meaning you are here in a very impulsive and explosive wave that it might unfold 3 over 3 here for this blue scenario. And of course, in this case, you are looking for a very explosive wave toward the upside that it might start, of course, from the 68K or the 51K. Now, of course, you will tell me 68K is very, very low price for a wave 2. I agree with you, of course, with this based on Elliott wave analysis and the theory. We know that wave 2 is not, of course, a common target for a wave 2. However, it is only in Bitcoin and only in Bitcoin, never in something else. I saw this, but I saw it only in Bitcoin when we are in a very impulsive wave toward the upside 3 over 3. Normally Bitcoin it tends, of course, to rush the market, and before you get prepared even for the bull run, to hit the 0.23, sometimes in between the 0.38 and the 0.23, and then move toward the upside. And this is only in Bitcoin, I repeat, of course, and only in this case scenario where you have, of course, a wave 3 over the 3, not every impulse, of course. It is only when we have a wave 3 over 3, the market gets in rush so much, of course, to move to higher and not even reaching the 0.38 sometimes. Now, if, of course, preferably that we reach the 0.38, preferably, of course, which is the minimum requirement for a wave 2 at 51K. Meaning you would like to hold on this, of course, position, especially with this order block and this support, technical support that we have here exactly for Bitcoin, where we have, of course, a lot of support here. And yeah, I would say it would be hard to break in, yeah, to be broken. So these are the scenarios right now. I see, of course, Bitcoin might, of course, reach this area and then, of course, this blue box and start our impulse for a wave 3. So 68K, 51K to be watched, of course, for this potentially very fast and shallow bear market. So we're gonna see how the things are going to work. Now let's move to the daily. So on the daily with the bullish scenario, of course, as you can see, I was aiming at this area as a very strong support area and very strong resistance, I would say here was this technical support. It is of course very likely that Bitcoin might move toward the downside in A, B, and C to hit the 65K as you said, or 68K, or in between the 51K and the 68K, meaning in this region, in this area is of course our blue zone, as we saw of course in our parabolic study here. And of course for the bullish scenario, in case we are still in a bullish scenario, of course the possibility is still there, but it is very low right now, especially of course with this move towards the downside that we saw lately, and the time that it took of course for this wave 4. In case we are in triple 1-2s here, we have a wave 3, 4, and a 5, and then A, B, C for a wave 4 and a wave 5, finishing wave 3 in the yellow, and potentially this WXY was your wave 4. However, it took a lot of time, of course, in comparison with this wave 2 here. Of course, in time, this is a very far scenario a little bit, and very deep as well. And of course, if we are bullish, of course, we are studying the possibility here. You would like to see, of course, a move toward the upside. However, this move here was a zigzag rather than, of course, an impulse, meaning, of course, the only possible way that you can be impulsive here is only an ending diagonal for wave 5. However, as you can see, if we have an ending diagonal, and knowing that, of course, if we have bottomed here, because potentially we didn't yet, you would like to see, of course, an ending diagonal. However, your ending diagonal has to be very sharp, meaning a wave 3 till the maximum almost without invalidation, and then a wave 5 also till the maximum support here without invalidation as well, until you probably can hit the all-time high, probably. So it's very hard even to get an all-time high with this price action, giving, of course, higher possibility right now for the bearish scenario, right? So these are the daily for the bullish. It is very low, and of course higher potential that we are of course in a bear market here. It can be short bear market hitting of course this area and then moving towards the upside. Let's see the bear market, how it might unfold. In the bear market, we have of course this WX and a Y. Your wave Y has finished in two ways possibly. Triangle ABCDE starting 1 2 1 2, or an ABC flat truncated and you got a 1 2 1 2. In both case scenario it works of course, and you have 1 2 1 2 3 4 and a 5. Finished wave 3 here and wave 4, and you're looking at a finished wave 5, meaning you have finished this orange wave 1 that we saw in the parabolic all-time history. This is your wave 1 right now. You have finished and you're looking for a wave 2 and continuation toward the upside. This wave 2 of course might be here. Of course your wave 1 has been finished with the wave 5 and the big bull run here. Your wave 2 might be a shallow wave 2 of course, as we mentioned, and we might of course start to seek for strength again, starting from the 65K, I would say. Now your target, your real target is the 67K. Of course, if we take here, if we have an A, B, and a C here, your wave A, B, and a C, of course, can hit the 68K or 67K. And in that case scenario, of course, you are looking in between this area to, of course, start finding some strength, meaning 5 waves up, 3 waves down. Continuation toward the upside, breaking this high, meaning we are in a new bull run toward the upside. Now, why I also believe that we are in a very small or shallow move toward the downside? That because, of course, of the 3-wave correction that we can see here. And this gives us already a signal that this bear market is gonna be very shallow and very fast, and that because we have only 3 waves, not of course 3 waves toward the downside as an impulse. Because if you have 5 waves toward the downside as an impulse, you would like to see a wave 1 here, wave 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5. And that of course is a very bearish market. But in this case scenario, we're looking here at a simple correction, 3 waves W, X, and a Y. you are looking to finish, of course, this wave B and then moving toward the downside. Now the possibilities, because we have a very shallow bear market potentially and we don't see an impulse, the possibilities might go, of course, for the time. And meaning when you have a shallow price action here for a wave 2, it is very, very possible that the wave 2 move in time here to get, of course, strength, to start to get strength in the market, move, of course, sideways in time somehow like that, and then moving toward the upside, meaning the bear market is going to be taking more time rather than price, than more than lower prices, and then moving toward the upside. I believe that the time will be consumed inside this wave V because it is the most corrective wave inside this corrective wave. And potentially, of course, we might get a wave C later on and start to get some range here somehow like this, potentially like a leading diagonal formation of a wave 1 and then 2 and then continuation toward the upside, meaning, of course, this might take months, of course, to start a new bull run. If we take a look at the 4-hour chart here, let's take a look at the possibilities that we might have for this wave B in this shallow correction for our bear market here. If we have, of course, those 3 waves towards the downside as W, X, and a Y, you're looking for a wave B after a wave A here, right? So this is your wave A. In 3 waves toward the downside, you're looking for 3 waves toward the upside, where we got already a zigzag here. But this zigzag is very, very shallow in time. And if you remember a few minutes ago, I mentioned that this correction, because it is shallow in 3 waves, it needs time definitely. And of course, I doubt that we are going to move directly toward the downside, unless, of course, something bigger is unfolding here. And of course, it's too early to call it, but this thing which is bigger, I'm thinking about it in case we move down like this directly. Is, of course, having 3 waves down already, because this will finish 3 waves down, then 3 waves up, and then 5 waves down again. And this is where the bear market gets bigger, of course, but it's too early to call it. I still believe that this correction still need a time anyway, because your wave B here finished is very, very shallow in time. As you can see, 0.38 from the fib time here is even not reached, taken from the wave A. Therefore, I believe this, of course, still has to unfold in a 3 corrective wave, bigger 3 corrective wave for a wave B, and then moving toward the downside for a wave C in an impulse, of course. But minimum requirement is the 0.38, meaning before 25 March. It's a little bit hard to say that we are ready still to move for lower from this price action. Now, of course, there is many possibilities that we have here as well. Of course, another possibility is a triangle, where we possibly, of course, saw yesterday an extension for the wave B here. Of course, you saw a lower prices. We were almost here yesterday in the live stream. And of course, as you can see, we took the low, and as expected anyway. So, and we said, of course, we might get an extended wave B in the triangle. So A, B, C, D, and E is very, very possible as well for a wave B here and then wave C again. So the possibilities then are A, B, C in a flat, or currently a triangle toward the downsides. Those are the highest possibility. Also, a very high possibility is a bigger WXY even, meaning 3 waves down, getting a triangle as a W, then get a zigzag or a flat for a wave X, and then of course a zigzag or a flat for your wave Y, hitting exactly the 1-to-1 fib time here, because the 1-to-1 fib time is the perfect time for a wave B, of course, to be finished in 3 waves down, 3 waves up, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. This is actually would be the perfection of Elliott wave theory here, based on time and on the shape and etc. for this correction. That would be, of course, perfect, but of course we cannot give it the highest possibility yet, of course, before unfolding at least a triangle here and see what's gonna be the next as an X wave, right? So these are the scenarios. The bullish scenario, of course, to not talk always, of course, as a bearish or bullish scenario. Of course, this was given on Saturday with a deep analysis is still, of course, available. And you would like to see, of course, an ending diagonal potentially, or at least a leading diagonal potentially, if you're looking for higher still. You would like to see something like this. Yeah. So, but as you can see, to reach the all-time high, even with this ending diagonal, it has to be like till the maximum, meaning your wave 5 have to hit only the 0.23 potentially, and not being, of course, longer than your wave 3. So you would like to see somehow something like this. Yeah, with this shape, okay, you can take the all-time high with a wave 5 in the yellow scenario, and of course start looking for a bearish market after it. So how much the possibilities? Very, very low, to be honest, but of course, to be, of course, seen step by step. If this is unfolding, it is already in the sight to see what's gonna happen. Now let's see, of course, the highest possibility on the 1 hour chart. So on the 1 hour chart, we can see, of course, our full count here. We are currently in the highest possibility, where we have, of course, A, B, C, D, and an E, or potentially, of course, an A, B, and a C toward the upside, of course, to finish a wave B. Don't forget that this wave here can even overshoot toward the downside. We did not hit yet the 1-to-1 fib level, and this is exactly what I'm aiming for. If we dive a little bit inside it, you can see that this A, B, and a C, of course, you have an impulse here. You would like to see, of course, a final potentially here A, B, C as potentially an impulse. I don't know if this, I mean, this doesn't look impulsive at all. As you can see, this wave 1 is overlapping here. Therefore, I cannot really consider this an impulse, and potentially this one here, because we have like kind of double 1-2, but I cannot really find a double 4-5. Therefore, it might be an A, B, and a C as well. And then A, B, C here, and then A, B, C, meaning W, X, and a Y. Now, don't forget that this can, of course, still hit the 1-to-1 fib level, taken from this wave A to the B, of course, to the C. And then meaning is extending, of course, extending our or expanding our triangle here for a wave B, and then of course we're looking for a wave C, D, and a E. Of course, in this case scenario, your wave C can be taking this area here, and then of course this will take, of course, much more longer time, and potentially it might transform to a wave W, as we saw, of course, for the perfection of Elliott wave. Don't forget as well, it might be a bigger regular flat as an A, B, and a C toward the upside, taking the time, the minimum time required for a wave B at 0.38. Now, of course, that is a scenario where we are directly bearish from here, where it can take, of course, the move towards the downside. I lost it. Here we go. Yeah, I think this is the one, yes, where we are looking for a wave C and looking directly toward the downside. Now, this is a little bit low possibility, but it can be. I mean, the market can be in rush to be corrective. But in this case scenario, I would say if this happened, then ABC, then you're looking for 3 waves up again, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 toward the downside, meaning a little bit longer correction, and can be also a little bit deeper. So reaching the 1.1, of course, 65K based on this A, B, and a C is also a possibility. But of course, I would like to see that all these fibs are broken first, meaning if you are here potentially in an A and then B, it still can be, of course, an expanding flat, right? Those fibs level here are for an expanding flat. Meaning, if we hit, of course, this expanding flat fib levels, you still, of course, and reverse from here, you still can be in a wave C toward the upside as A, B, and a C for your wave B, and then moving toward the downside. Don't forget as well, it can end up this A, B, and a C. It can end up, of course, as a ending diagonal 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. However, very, very low possibility for me. I see, of course, an impulse. Definitely not an ending diagonal here, of course, especially that this wave start to become longer than your wave 1. So that was it for Bitcoin. Currently, of course, we're still looking a little bit for lower here on the 1 hour chart. If we move in, I would say we're still looking for a lower a little bit to hit the 1-to-1 fib level potentially. In, of course, an A, B, and a C. Your wave C is a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Potentially your wave 4 can take even much more time and then hitting the wave 5 again, of course, for the 1-to-1 fib level here. That was it for Bitcoin. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.